So there it is. So it's Dave Lockwood with Remove It Pros Demolition, and we're gonna head on down to the beach, and we're gonna use my new bike adapter to hold the phone, and we're gonna go check it out. We'll head on down to the downtown area of Fort Myers Beach. So there you go. And there you go. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm using my the microphone. Try to help out with the audio. And let's see, off we go. I hear Beach Talk's having something going on at Margaritaville this morning. I was going to head on down there. So I'm coming from the south end of the beach. And again, this is my, I don't know if you're into YouTube stuff or you're doing any filming, these Osmo 3 phones or cameras, they're not phones, they're cameras. They are, they're pretty freaking awesome. So, I see my neighbors out and about somewhere. So at any rate, so it's a beautiful day. It's probably 70 degrees already, so it's kind of nice. We had a couple 40-degree days, and I have to tell you, that sucks. It sucks out the butt. You know, 48 degrees the other day. Heidi at the shop said it was 45 where she came from, which was, I think she came out of Lehigh. So the beaches, you know, we're getting real close to Christmas, so you know, it'll get quiet again a little bit, and then it'll start getting we get into that after Christmas mode, and then we'll be in full swing with season down here. So which is cool. These are it's cool riding the bike over here, although it's the sand is hard. Even with these big fat tire bikes, it's still hard to get through the loose sand. So this right here, this area was not normal. Okay, we're in a really low tide right now. Normally this area right here is got water on it. This part of the beach prior to Hurricane Ian did not have water here. It had water around the whole edge, but it never had water. It's like an estuary that's been created by the sands, the shifting sands that happened after Hurricane Ian. All right, there we go. So over there, the bridge, they're, let's see, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they got 6 cranes. They had 7. I saw them loading one of them out of here the other day. I don't know if it was damaged or defective or if they just didn't need it. They are cranking along, that's for sure. Boy, this is super soft. All right, this is cool. Right along the edge of the beach. So normally this would be covered with water right here. You see the line here. So, good morning.
Good morning.
A fellow beach lover. So, it's 6 miles on the beach to the downtown area. And right here you got some guys. Water's kind of calm, they're out there. A lot of times if you're out in a boat like that, you're dealing with some waves getting in your boats. So what's up, Vlad? Man, if I was any better, I'd have to kiss myself. You think so? Well, the problem is none of them had the additional video. None of them had an additional video connected to them. Not any of them. For sure. Absolutely. It's kind of like, hey, let's go on a trip, and then you don't go on a trip. Yeah, but you're assuming that the view count is just for that video. It's not. It's for the channel. So they click on the short, or they don't click on the short. I think the problem with the shorts is the fact that they're not. That we got to try to get better looking. What am I trying to? Yeah, the thumbnails. Just got to get the thumbnail. We've been not getting the best thumbnail choices. Yeah, I saw it, but I've seen that stuff before, but then when you go to do it, it doesn't work. So we need to play with it. It may work now. A lot of the things that they roll out with YouTube, what ends up happening is they come out and say, hey, we're going to do this. But then it takes them months to figure it out and work the bugs out of it. For example, like they're supposed to be 3-minute shorts by now. Okay, and we don't have them. Now everybody's looking forward to the day of the 3-minute shorts. We tried to load up a couple of them, and that was months ago. Now I understand that they are doing it, but it's not universal at this point. It's not working yet. So the same thing with the thumbnails. Couldn't change the thumbnails. Well, apparently now you can. Of course, I read that back when the thumbnails first started, and it didn't work back then. So maybe it works now. I don't know. Yeah. Hi there. Hi. Yeah. Well, that's the way it's set it the last time too. You had to do it from your phone. It still didn't work. So hopefully it is working now. Christabel started working on it, and she's tried one, and she said she got it to work. So I don't know if she actually did or not. So the thing is you only get to choose from what's on your videos. You don't get to choose another thumbnail, which is ideal. You could put on some different thumbnail. It's true. Anyway, I need to get off here. I'm filming and this damn camera holder's not holding up. So I will, I'll talk to you later. Okay?
All right.
Bye. So this camera holder it's working. It's just a lot of leverage against it with the extra battery on this camera. So, and it's a little bumpy. So, anyway, like that building right there, still empty, still not occupied. It's a beautiful day down here. I don't know what the temperature is up north, but or wherever you're at, but it's about 70 degrees and it's about 9:30 in the morning here. Hi there. That's kind of a pretty day. I just did a drive down the whole island, just kind of doing a Milton update. And, you know, it's looking pretty cleaned up. The FEMA pile that's out on Lover's Key is pretty much cleaned up. There is a little bit of horticulture that's still out there. The sand pile is gone. The debris pile that was left over is still there. They've got the screening machines are all packed up, ready to be loaded onto a truck and sent somewhere else, I guess. Also, the Fort Myers Beach pile is pretty much gone as well, although they still look like they're still set up and they might still be processing sand. I looked down in front of Margaritaville and that's looking pretty good. The beach renourishment is going pretty good. They're supposedly going to pull off down there here shortly and come down to this end of the island, and they really need it down here more than they need it up there. A lot of these little hammerhead crabs, very cool. So not sure what's going on with this. So a lot of people out here. Hi. Lots of shells out here today. I'm gonna have to take this off. It's too bumpy for that holder. So at any rate, there you go. That building right there, not occupied. That building right there looks like it's partially occupied. The building right that way, I know that their pool is ready, and I've seen people around the pool, and there are cars in the parking lot, so I'm sure that it's not completely done, but it's being utilized. It just all depends on what happened to your building and how bad you got hit and what you've been able to get accomplished. A lot of times it's the elevators. The fire department won't let you into buildings without the elevators, even though the emergency route out is going to be staircases. The electrical systems in these buildings can be a big deal, very expensive, especially if you do some preventative maintenance and move everything up. So it's a good day to be on the beach. That's all I gotta say. This Leonardo Arms building, they've been working on it diligently since the hurricane. I hear a lot of frustration when I see them on Beach Talk, a lot of frustration about not being able to be in their building yet. Gosh, they got to be close. So the beach renourishment, the way that they're going to do this is they got to bring that sand all the way down here from the Times Square area. So the dredging machine and the borrow pit is down there by Times Square. It's a mile and a half off the shore, so you can't see it from here. It's too small to see. But what they're doing is they're piping it all the way down the beach, and they're actually digging the pipe and putting it into the beach. And now this could take forever. It's dangerous through here. Yes, especially holding a camera on the bike. So this thing was out there for quite a while. Now it's over here. So now I gotta figure out how to get off of here and to get my bike and my camera. Ooh, right into the water. All right. Oh. All right, there we go. All right, we made it. And my shoes are only a little bit wet. Very cool. That's the pain in the butt with this. So here is Leonardo Arms. This is what they've had to do. They built this seawall here to protect that building. The water was actually going up and underneath that building. And so what a real pain in the butt it is. So this building used to have 200 feet out into the water, and that much water has, much sand has been eroded. This is the building that we did a video on where we did we pulled out the first floor for them. The concrete on the first floor got undermined from Hurricane Milton, and also their the seawall they had that was up against their pool. And then a lot of the mangroves and stuff that were down through here, they're all gone. So they got washed out from this hurricane. And it's a lot smoother over here. Maybe this holder will work. All right, much better. So, so this is the condition of our beaches. If you're wanting to come to Fort Myers Beach, I mean, the number one reason anybody comes here is because of our beaches. So plenty of access, easier to get to the beach, more places to park than before. Morning. So it's a good thing in a lot of ways. It's a bad thing. Everything's gonna be brand new in about 10 years, but it's gonna take a while to get it there. So far, they don't even have one development that has been fully approved. One of the bigger developments. They have a lot of developments that are going on, a lot of little ones, the houses and little things. I think Meyerside's gotten their approval already. So it's kind of cool seeing the water out this far. You get to see a lot more shells. I've seen some very interesting shells. I'm not particularly in the shell collecting mode today. I just wanted to do a bike ride all the way down the beach. So I'm about 5 miles from downtown area. And when I get up here a little bit further, you're going to see where they have the beach Renourishment is bringing their pipes all the way down the beach. So what they're doing is they brought it to shore, and they have a dredge rig with a drilling and a suction tube. It spins and it sucks the sand in, and then it gets pumped to the shore. And then what they do is they take the bulldozers and the excavators and they make a big pool. And what happens is the water sits in that pool of water, and it allows the sand to fall out of the water, and then the water runs back into the Gulf. So it's an interesting process. It's amazing in a lot of ways because it's just very big. The amount that they are moving, the amount of sand that they are moving is absolutely incredible. This is getting kind of bouncy again, so I'll hold this for a few minutes. So I'm gonna go up here. I need to cross. I want to get stuck out here and get into 3 or 4 foot of water, which I don't have flip-flops on today. So let's see right here. I'm gonna go across right here. All right. Oh, I'm in the wrong gear for that. All right, so here's that piping that I was talking about. So they're trying to get all the way down there to the Leonardo, and through here, I'm not so sure they're going to allow them to dig this up because this is all natural. So basically, this is the pipe I'm talking about. They melt the pipes together, and every so often they bolt them together. And so it's kind of interesting. Morning. So right here is where the Wyndham is. Everybody's upset about the Wyndham because it looks like hell and they like to get it cleaned up. When we had talked to them as a company, it sounds like they're going to get to it as soon as the beach Renourishment guys get done with using it. So down here, they don't really need the beach Renourishment. There's plenty of distance between the beach and the buildings, as you can see. So I don't know if they're going to add 200 feet here or not. I wouldn't think they are, but they could be. You never know when you're dealing with government stuff. What seems to be logical and practical doesn't necessarily always happen. You know, and the government doesn't have to make a profit, you know. That doesn't have to do things that make sense. It can do whatever it wants to do, or whatever has been set up. And a lot of times what they do is they take this stuff out of context, and let's say you have a smaller storm, they still get mass money out of the storm because of the systems they already have in place. And they're really not set up for this small of a storm, but so me, when I'm on the beach, I yield to pedestrians. Technically, as a bicyclist, I'm a pedestrian too, but people are not expecting you to pull up on them at any rate of speed as when they're on the beach. So it's just being a good neighbor. I don't bring my electric bike out here. I do see people bringing their electric bikes out here. I don't bring my electric bike out here because it's so expensive, and I know what happens to electric motors when they get saltwater residue on them. They don't last very long. And I really like my electric bike. It's really nice. It was expensive, and I don't want to fix it, and I don't have to change the motor out. But I do see people out here on them. I guess if you keep them dry, you're going to be fine. But it never fails. When I'm out here, I have to go through the water several times in a day, no matter what kind of a bike ride I'm doing, just because it's just the way things are laid out, you know. And that's not always, but it's most of the time, yes. Look at these two, they're getting frisky with each other. So, all these little birds, we have a little agreement. I don't chase them, they don't chase me. I give them plenty of room. When you talk about somebody having a bird brain, this is why they say that, because them same birds will land in front of me 20 times, and then they'll take off again. And then they'll go another 100 feet, land again, and do it again and again and again and again and again. And I think that's where the bird brain thing came from. So all of this out here, you see all the tracks in the sand? That's because they had their excavator running down through here, and you can see sticking out of the sand right there, you see that pipe sticking up. So that's a connection point that may be the next place that they're going to put an additional pump, because pumping this stuff several miles, I'm sure they got to have multiple pumps running at the same time. So that's what it looks like. That's what the beach renourishment piping looks like, and they melt some of that together and they bolt some of it together. So good morning. So right here you see these tracks. So this is big equipment that's rolling back and forth, and they're rolling right up alongside of the water for some reason. I'm not sure why. I don't know that it hurts anything. I mean, if you're shelling, it probably would piss you off, because they're going to run over the good shells. And a lot of the good shells, this is where you find them, from below tides. Morning. So, kind of interesting. Normally, if I say good morning to 100 people, I'll only have 40 of them say, good morning back. It's weird. It's weird. What's weird about it is that I don't see any rhyme or reason sometimes. But this morning, it's been 100%. Everybody I said good morning to said it back to me. So, interesting. Always thinking about why something is the way it is. So if you notice that lady, she's charting her course way out, and I'm charting my course way out. Morning. All right, well, I didn't say it loud enough, I think, but hey. So, it's a quiet part of the beach. I'm on the south end of the beach. Not quite to Publix yet. If you look off to the right up there, the blue buildings, blue and white buildings, off in the distance, about a mile away, that's Publix. Those, I think that's called Ocean Harbor, maybe, I think it's something like that. But they're right next to the Publix, and for me, that's a landmark. Some of my landmarks are gone. My most recent landmark down when I was boating was our new mountain, and the new mountain came and it's gone. So they had a tremendous amount of sand. They processed it and put it right back out onto beaches, but not Bonita Beach. And it's irrelevant, honestly, because if they're able to move this much sand with the beach renourishment, it doesn't really matter where the sand comes from. There's just huge amounts of sand available out there, and you say, well, you're tearing up the beach habitat. Being a scuba diver, if you go out there, I mean, obviously you're tearing up some habitat for sure, but if you go out there, it looks like a desert. I mean, it literally looks like a desert for miles and miles and miles. So I know there's 2 new starts on the beach. This is one. This one right here, you see where they're building. They're putting the columns in, the concrete columns, and those columns have been put on top of piers. The piers go way down into the sand, a lot of times 30 feet, or until they hit something and they can't go any further, till they drive it in to the point where they won't move anymore. As you come up here, you see more of the piping. A lot of this piping has already been buried through here. Right here on the right was that yellow complex called the Sandpiper, and London Bay bought that one. London Bay also bought the Outrigger. I'm not sure who bought the cottage in that, but those are all the same people. But the Outrigger, Charlie's, and the cottage were all owned by the same family. So they had made some big moves on the cottage a couple years before Ian hit. They really did something magnificent. They turned part of it into shuckers. It was the Gulf Shore Grill. They turned it into shuckers, and it was pretty cool. Had a nice view. It had seating along the rails, so you could sit there and watch people on the beach. It was kind of fun. A lot of drama and turmoil going on at the Lani Kai most of the time, and so a lot of times, I mean, I've sat at the rail and watched the Lani Kai guys beat the crap out of some drunk that can't stand up, that's acting out, and somehow they think it's cool to beat them up. Unbelievable, some of the stuff that I've seen coming out of there. I mean, of the crime that happens on Fort Myers Beach over the years, a good portion of it comes out of the Lani Kai. You know, shootings and people getting beat up, and, you know, drug stuff. So I heard that they redid the rooms, and they redid the electric, they redid the plumbing. It was on the local news, and they were opening up like one floor at a time, is what I heard. So I still see on the social media stuff, see on Facebook and that, people asking when they're going to open up, that they're calling and not getting any responses. So I'm not sure what they're struggling with. They're probably struggling with the same thing everybody struggles with, which is getting permits and getting the contractors and stuff to finish up projects, trying to get their attention, because they have a tendency to take on too much. That lady right there, she's involved with the turtle time. She's very passionate. I've had her yell at me several times for having my light on in the beach during turtle time, which that's kind of sore subject for me, because people dig holes and you can't see them. You're coming out here before it's daylight because it's so hot during the day, and I'll turn my light on here and there just to make sure that I'm not going to run over a hole, and it never fails. That woman's standing there when I do, and she is vocal, yelling at me. So I don't even know if she knows it's me or not, because typically I'm really far away from her and it's really dark. Meanwhile, I'll ride the beach, the whole beach, during the mornings before it's light, and I will see you know, 20 people with lights on. Of course, most of it's all down by Lani Kai and the downtown area, which you don't really see a lot of turtle nests down there, because I think that there's too much activity down there and the turtles shy away from it. So there's activity down there. sometimes, you know, till 11 and 12 o'clock at night. So over here to the right, we did some work on this building here. We got underneath it and cleaned it out so they could tell whether or not it was structurally sound and if they could rebuild it, which it was, and they did. And up here to the right, you see the piping laying out here on the sand. And again, this is part of them running all the way down to Times Square, and they have to pump all the way from down there all the way down the other end. So this piping here, we're passing Publix right at the moment. So look at how clean the beaches are. There's no garbage on them. A lot of the stuff that got damaged by Hurricane Ian has been cleaned up, and Hurricane Milton and Hurricane Helene, all that stuff's been cleaned up. A lot of the sand has been put back into place, most of the sand, both over by the temporary structures that the town of Fort Myers Beach has, and also their old location where they had their buildings that got knocked down. They used that to marshal the sand long enough to put it back out onto the beaches. All that stuff has been it's been cleaned and put back onto the beach. Good morning. So, well, we're back down to 50% now. Meanwhile, this pink house here, you see it? That pink house, that's the one we were worried about possibly hitting when we were taking down that 7-story building. Well, they were worried about us hitting it. We weren't worried about hitting it. We didn't think we were going to hit it. But, you know, that building stood 20 or 30 feet above the elevation of that one, but it was also 70 feet away from it. Didn't look like it. It was an optical illusion, but didn't look like it, but it was. So this one right here, still not occupied. The one next to it, still not occupied. So again, there's a lot that goes into all this stuff. I mean, everything from dealing with the insurance companies to the rate hikes for the insurance, the new insurance, the getting your elevators built and brought in and installed. There's a couple places where they just put back in what they had, and Milton came in and ruined them again. So now what's going to happen is people are going to go ahead and spend the additional money, put the mechanicals up above 12 feet or so, and then they're going to have very little chance of them getting damaged. So it's kind of like, you know, you had Hurricane Ian, then you had Hurricane Idalia, hi there, and then you had Debbie, then Helene, and then Milton, all within 26 months. It's a lot. Idalia and Debbie were somewhat minor. Helene, not as bad as Milton, but bad enough. I mean, it got sand all over the streets and stuff again. It just barely got it cleaned up. And here comes Milton. And Milton made a mess. Milton ran water across the whole island for about 10 hours. It wasn't 20 feet deep or anything, but it still was a lot. Hi there. So that's pretty much it. So what a nice day. Nice and calm and not a lot of wind. I'm heading down to Margaritaville. I'm gonna have breakfast there. So there's another new one on the beach. That one's been underway for a while though. That one was underway pre-Helene. There's two more that just started recently. Some of these, you see those pilings over there to the right? Those pilings have been here since they hit. That was a frame structure that got wiped out by the Hurricane Ian. Hurricane Ian had 10 to 14 foot waves that ran for about 10 hours. And what it was doing is on these frame buildings, if you watch it, I've seen a couple of the videos, what would happen is they get to a certain point and the water was actually pushing them up, and they weren't connected to the pilings very good. So what ended up happening is it ended up lifting them up, getting them off of the pilings, dropping them back on the pilings, and then getting ripped across the, you know, breaking up on the street or whatever where they land high. So right here, that pump right there, that is a pump that relays, it gives, it's kind of an accessory pump. So the rig is 1.5 miles off the shore, all the way up there by the Lani Kai, and then they're running these pipes down the beach, and then that is an auxiliary pump that helps the water keep moving. So it's a lot of weight, a lot of water weight, and it's a lot of distance. And what happens is the sand gets up inside of the water, and you know, I don't know what the percentage is, but it moves it all the way down. And you know, it's going to go 7 miles at least. So it's basically being pumped to the shore and then all the way down the shore to the other end of the island. Hi there. So, and you can see it. You see it going all the way down through here. So I don't know if they're burying it through here. Probably are, because it's hard for us old folk to get over stuff like that. That's probably what the excavator and that bulldozer sitting back there by that pump is they're probably burying it. It's going to take a while to do it. It's a long distance. So you got a little football game going here on the beach. All right, cool. Somebody got a touchdown. Hi there. So if you're familiar with Fort Myers Beach, very much familiar with Fort Myers Beach, I'm passing the cell tower right now that's up on Estero Boulevard. And we're coming up towards the Lani Kai and the that's the caper right there to the right. This is where the Junkanoo used to be. If you see it, that building right there is the old Fresh Catch Grill. Those people there, they went over, I don't know if they bought or if they rented, but they're over there behind the Publix, and that was a good move for them. They put Junkanoo downstairs, and they put the Fresh Catch upstairs. Used to be called the Bistro. Oh, I forget. Bayfront Bistro. So it really feels good to be out on my bike today. Well, hopefully, I've got the microphone up by my mouth. Hopefully you can hear me all right. So, hey. So there's plenty of people out here. They're in long pants and long t-shirts. Well, they got long t-shirts on. The last one did. Doing a little beach exploration there. Looks like they found a mussel. Look at that, there's some dolphins. You see that one down there? He's getting some breakfast, right? That's pretty cool to see. And you know it's really shallow out there. This is low tide. We've been having a bunch of these low tides. It's really low. If you go into the bays at the other end, you see so much, see so many sandbars and stuff that you don't normally see because they're all underwater. And you can easily figure out why there's very few people drowning around here. So once you get out of the channel, most of the time you're dealing with water that's 2 foot, 10 inches, you know, between 10 inches and 2 foot. We beached some of our wave runners when we snuck over here after the hurricane. I got into 10 inches of water. It was pitch black out. I knew where I was at, but I couldn't exactly locate the actual channel. So I had to wait about 20 minutes and wait for it to get light, then I could see everything. So all the power was off, all my markers that I normally would see, all the things that I count on when I'm out there, when I do get stuck out there late, which is rare because I don't like being out in the water. You can't see nothing in the water when it's that dark. So you gotta be careful. There's so many shadows. So the dolphins are active. You see people out there looking at them. There's some right there. So you see them kicking. They're in really shallow water. There you go. So they're chasing down some breakfast. Like, here, fishy, 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 I'm gonna eat you. Yeah, that's pretty shallow right there. So coming up on this big building here is the building that caused the big turmoil, or caused the people in Fort Myers Beach to get incorporated and to make a city so that Lee County would, to give us more direct control over what gets built here on the beach, because they don't want buildings as tall as that building right there. So so anyway, they're a good neighbor. They're a great company. They are built high enough per the code that they're not getting serious impacts from the hurricane, so they're able to get back open pretty quick. For a while, they were one of a couple places here on the island where you could eat. There was only a couple places that were open. So as I get up here closer, I'm gonna drive through the downtown area. I'm gonna drive through the Times Square area. I'm gonna drive through the what's becoming kind of our new Times Square for now, Bayside Park, and where Wahoo Willie's and Snug Harbor and Nervous Nellie's is all the way down there. By the way, SOB should be open soon, and that's going to be super cool. Have another place to go and eat. I like sitting there because you can sit right up against the street, kind of like you can do at Wahoo Willie's. Thanking God that Margaritaville showed up when it did. It's kind of is the nice gateway into the community. It makes for a nice impression, even though the rest of the community is pretty torn up. They're running as fast as they can trying to get these approvals. The unfortunate thing is a lot of the things that what they're paying for this property, they want to build something that's big enough to make it make sense. And And the people who live here are always going, well, what about the traffic? What about the traffic? What about the traffic? Because like right now, we're kind of in season, and it can take two hours to get off the island, you know, which is absolutely nuts. More dolphin activity going on. So here's some little kiddos and a family. I love seeing families on the beach. And here we are coming up on the Lani Kai. So this is about 5.5 miles into our bike ride. I literally live on the other end of the island, the very last street. So when I go down to Bowditch Point, which I'm not going to do today, I was down there earlier. I did a different video on that. You know, it's 7 miles total. So coming up on the Lani Kai, talking to Dan Allers, the mayor, he was saying that these guys are going to run for a certain period of time, and then they're going to go ahead and pull off and head down to the other end of the island. Something about trying to get something done before the turtle season starts. So it's pretty cool. The Lani Kai, though, I saw them on the news. They were talking about opening up one floor at a time, and they were talking about they had done extensive renovations, which is cool. It was probably due for it. I stayed in there one night, and it was kind of rough. So they have a tendency to attract the spring break crowd, and a lot of times those guys are not taking care of stuff like they should, and they're beating the building up. Plus, the building was seriously dated. So so anyway, here's the cool thing to see. This is the beach renourishment itself. So there are pipes that are going to go underneath this and connect to those other pipes and run from that drilling rig, which I don't know if you can see it out there. The drilling rig that's way out there, way out there. It's 1.5 miles away. So this guy right here is a bulldozer. He's in the salt water, and what he's doing is he's making a settlement pool or a sediment pool. And what they're doing is, you see that water being splashed up there? What that is that's being pumped in from that rig out there. And inside that water is a bunch of sand. And what's happening is that water is running back into the ocean, and that sand is staying put. And what they're doing is they're giving it enough time to do that. So that, I wonder how much it affects the life expectancy of that piece of equipment working in that salt water. I know salt water ruins everything. So it's pretty cool to see, though. Look at that. They got the excavator over there. They got the pumping going on, and they've got 2 bulldozers rolling. And right here is the Lani Kai, and right there is the Margaritaville. So here we are. This is some of the chairs from, well, that's not from the Lani Kai, I don't think. Well, maybe it is. They just scooted down for a minute. Almost puts them out of business for a minute. I'm good, how are you? Yeah, they got these guys all set up. This is where the cottage used to be, right here. Matter of fact, we'll go this way. So this is the cottage. So I've actually spent a lot of my human life here. So right here was the cottage itself. This is the shuckers would have been on the 2nd floor, and the cottage itself was right here. And there was a group of guys who bought this, and they came out with a design and presented it to the city, and I think the city went ahead and gave it the thumbs up. So I'm not sure what the status is on that. I'll check on that and see what's going on. I'll ask Ed Ryan. By the way, Ed Ryan and them guys, if you're not supporting them and you're from here, you should be. If you're familiar, or if you like this place and you want to know what's going on, those guys put in a lot of hours, man. I admire them. They're everywhere all the time. They're intricately involved with this neighborhood. They don't live here, but this is their thing, you know? It's what they love to do. So they're intricately involved in everything going on in Fort Myers Beach. Now I saw Ed starting this show a couple years before the storm. So it's kind of cool that he took this on, but you know, he can't do it for free. We have to support him and his wife. It'd be awesome if we supported him a little better, because then his wife could be more full-time on it. There is a lot that goes into this. I know, because we do. I have 3 people helping me do what I do. It's a lot of work. It's a ton of work. And I love his heart. I love the fact that he is in love with the beach, and that he's trying to get everything to rock and roll the way it should. And I don't know, it's kind of cool. But I know he's got a membership site now, and you know, I don't know what else to say. It'd be really cool if everybody supported him, because he definitely deserves it. He's done a great job. He's doing a great job, and it's only going to become more and more and more and more to do. So as time goes on and more of these properties get developed, every one of them has additional meeting time. Some of these meetings are taking 4 and 5 hours in the evenings. It's just pretty much become his life now. But it's something that we need, and I support him, and I you know, I ask you to. If you're from here. If you're not from here and you want to support him, and you want to know what's going on in Fort Myers Beach, there's all kinds of opportunities here, because Fort Myers Beach, the good, the bad, and the ugly is, it's never going to be the same. That's the bad. The ugly is, it's never going to be the same. And then the good is, what's coming is going to be amazing. It's going to be simply amazing. Whether you want it to happen or not, it's going to happen. That sands development, that's the Collier family. If you guys haven't figured that out, guys, I don't know how much power we have to keep them from doing what they're wanting to do. So I don't know if you know that or not, but we're contractors. We work for everybody. We know who's who. So those guys, they are absolutely politically connected at a level that is probably not beneficial if you don't want developments down here. So, what's up, young lady? I'm good, how are you? So this is Nervous Nellie's, they're open. Back here's Snug Harbor, over here's Wahoo Willie's. This is the Bayside Park. This was put in right before Ian. It got torn up, and then they rebuilt it again. They rebuilt the docks out here for both these places. They put, when they built on the rebuild for Snug Harbor, and the rebuild, well, it's a new build for Wahoo Willie's. They were built to code, and Wahoo Willie's has gotten beat up, and it's no problem at all. It handles it. So, hey, meeting you again.
I know, right?
How's it going?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah?
It's been slow with the cold weather.
Dude, I hope it picks up.
Yeah, it will. Right up between Christmas and New Year's is always busy.
Is it?
Yeah, and this is a slow time. So everybody goes home to have Christmas
And get their gifts.
Get their gifts.
Put their trees up that they got to take down in 5 days.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's good to see you. All right. So they're putting up the Christmas lights here. Hi there. And there's Wahoo Willie's, which is ranking in my top 3 right now. Them, and I love eating over at Margaritaville as well. So coming through here, you've got the cigar huts open. SOBs is supposed to be open here any day. Matter of fact, I'm gonna stop and ask this guy real quick when they think they're gonna open. They're still working on it, looks like. He's on the phone. All right, so John Ricard took out those old hotels and he put in this nice parking area. There's about 100 spots in there. Big Dick's is open. Yucatan's been open. Shipwreck's open. Surf Style's open. Mango's is going to be open here shortly. Mango's, I don't know if it's a new owner, if it's the same owner, but they're finally getting finished. Now Times Square up here, they took the clock down before Hurricane Milton and Helene, and I'm thankful that they did. So nothing floated over or knocked it over. That was one of the local people donated that. It's like a $20,000 clock. The pizza joint's open. H2O's open. Blue Waves is open. The beach renourishment is done here. If you look at the pier, you can see the reason that they're building the pier out further is because of the beach renourishment, which went out 200 feet. So this is what your Times Square looks like. There used to be the Dairy Queen was right here, Sunset Grill. There was a couple of shops here. The Greek restaurant was there. There was 2 restaurants, 2 bars that were here. Colors was there. That was a shop. Sunset Grill was here to the right. All that stuff is gone. So with the beach renourishment, there used to be like a 3-foot step down from this parking lot. And now look at it. You can walk straight off of this parking lot right onto the beach, which is awesome. So this is what your new beach looks like. If any of you guys know Terry Prasad, Remove It Pros will work him a hell of a deal to clean this mess up on Times Square. If you want to let him know, we'll work a deal out with him. We like the PR being the ones that get to do it, and we'll give him a good deal just because we want to get it done. It'll make things look better for everybody. So here is the next thing. This is called a roundabout. It's a roundabout. It's not round at all. It's a big oval looking, kidney looking thing. And it's almost done. Someone told me 3 weeks. It looks like it's longer than that to me, but it'd be nice for it to be done. And then part of this is going up the bridge over there, and they're giving us a new traffic pattern. And they're basically, I'm going to go over that way so you can see it. They're making the whole traffic pattern be different. They took out that bus lane that basically sat there empty most of the time. And they're, I don't know if you could see it. All right, you see it? So they're working on that all at the same time. They're putting a median in all the way down so you can't jump over it. And one side's going to be bike lanes and walking, and the other side is going to be for traffic. And that's pretty much the long and the short of that. So this thing, they're getting pretty close. Hopefully they get her done soon. We could sure use a little bit of relief on this traffic. The traffic's already just terrible, and there's really not that many people here compared to what there would normally be here. So pretty much what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over here and look behind. I'm going to go here and look over here behind the I'm gonna go take a look back here to show you what's going on from Margaritaville's perspective as far as the beach renourishment. So Ryan was having his Sunday meet with the mayor at Wahoo Willie's, and one of the ladies came up and said that her niece was supposed to get married here, and that they weren't going to be able to do it because of the beach renourishment. So there you go, look inside of there. So they're all open. They got these doors repaired pretty quick. Those doors are wildly expensive. If you ever have to buy a door for a glass door, hurricane doors, garage doors, it's really expensive. So just looking at this from a different perspective. So this is what it looks like when you're looking at it from the Margaritaville. This right here, over here is Crescent Park. And just 2 weeks ago, there was a 5-foot drop off here. There was like a staircase thing that went down, which would have been really cool to keep in place if they could have. We could have had beach volleyball and stuff right there, and that'd give people places to sit. So all this stuff right here is all stuff, equipment for the beach renourishment. They're almost done here. They got a lot of finished stuff on the edges and stuff that they need to do still yet. I'm not sure what they're doing with the ramp or the staircase there, if they're going to take it apart or just bury it. And so that's pretty much it. I'm going to park my bike and go up and have breakfast and listen to Ryan and them guys talk about what's going on Fort Myers Beach. So they have their meetings here, their get-togethers on Saturdays at Margaritaville, and on Sundays they have Meet the Mayor, and that's at Wahoo Willie's. I think the Wahoo Willie's one starts at 9:30 maybe, or 10. I'm not sure. I'm sure you can find it online. So it's Beach Talk Radio. And then today, I think they get started around 10 o'clock. So lots of traffic coming in. I'm talking to a lot of the servers. We all want more business. So I'm talking to the servers. They're all saying it's kind of quiet. So I hope that's not going to be the trend the whole year, because these businesses need the seasonal business to stay alive, because they don't really get enough business during the rest of the season to support all their overhead. So at any rate, this is I'm going to actually walk us upstairs. Hold on just a minute. All right, so here we are, a beautiful day on the beach. There's somebody over there parking in my parking spot. Yep. Wonder what she's doing. No, just kidding. So at any rate, this is a beautiful. So they basically built this so that people could go up and over without having to disturb the traffic. The additional time it takes to do that, though, nobody seems to want to do it. If you look down there, there's 2 elevators. There's an elevator on this side. There's a staircase over here, and then they had them put this man bridge in. So here we go. Yeah, so they're supposed to have some sort of a big thing going on here for Beach Talk Radio. I'm not sure what's going on. So this is Dave Lockwood with Remove It Pros Demolition, and just giving you a beach ride here a couple days before Christmas, and just telling you a little bit about what's going on as far as how I see it. And Right here they have some sort of a big thing going on with Beach Talk, and I'm gonna go over and take a look at that, and then I'm gonna end this. Got some damage going on there. All right, they got something going on. I heard they're gonna have 200 people here today. Not quite sure why. But at any rate, there we go. That's quite the setup there. Hey.
How are you?
All right.
Come on, Cam. Come on